This is a review for Riverdale, Chapter 35, Brave New World. This was also the Season 2 finale. So, what better way to end Season 2 with tonight's episode? Which was completely, entirely disappointing. That's the perfect end for a season, which I thought was completely and utterly disappointing. Not as bad as like Season 2 of Scream Queens, but it was pretty bad. You know, they had some interesting stuff here and there, but it was just, such sloppy storytelling. And it just annoyed, endless annoyment. I don't think I'm done watching Riverdale. I will watch Season 3, but I am so done doing the reviews. I'm not going to do long, endless recaps about all the stuff that happened when, honestly, I just don't care anymore. Tonight's episode. What happened? Nothing. Nothing really happened. It's okay, so we find out who the other Black Hood was. You ready for this? It was Tall Boy. The one very, very tall serpent who got kicked out of the Serpents because he was working for Hero Lodge. Was he working with Hal the whole time when they were doing the Black Hood killing? No, he was just working for Hero Lodge. You know, I hear that because they don't show this. It's not like they capture the Black Hood and they take the hood off Scooby-Doo style and it was Tall Boy. No, we just find this out through the sheriff. Because Archie has to come in and identify Hal as the Black Hood killer, which he does, and then he starts complaining and says, but there was this other guy who attacked my house at the same time that Hal was over at Betty's. And the shooting at the town hall, I don't think they're the same people. And they aren't. And then later the sheriff calls Archie in and tells him what happened. He's like, hey, we figured it was this guy, went over to his house. He started taking shots at us. We killed him. Hey, we know he's the Black Hood. We matched the guns at your house and the town hall. And it was Tall Boy. I'm like, what? That's it? I just thought the second Black Hood was going to be something better. You know, I thought he was going to be connected to Hal. And one of the reasons that as much as Hal being the Black Hood makes sense, there's still that one element I should understand. And that is those fucking eyes. All that fucking focus on those green eyes of the Black Hood. Does fucking Hal even have fucking green eyes? If he has green eyes, why didn't they fucking show it tonight? I don't think the actor who plays him has green eyes. I think his eyes are blue. But all throughout the Black Hood thing, they just kept showing those freaking eyes. And that did not pay off. And I swear to God, if it shows up in season fucking 3, you know, green eyes, and it's, this guy was the Black Hood, we completely forgot because of the green eyes, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to flip a fucking lid. Because, fuck off, that's just terrible storytelling. I was pretty much done with the Black Hood when they said it was the janitor, even though none of us believed it. And it was cool when he'll have motivations and whatnot, but still, those fucking eyes. What was the point of that? If we're not going to bring it back, where like he sees Hal, and then Archie looks in and realizes Hal's had green eyes. How he didn't recognize his fucking neighbor when, you know, he shot his dad, I don't know. Maybe just some stress of his dad getting shot. But he focused on those goddamn eyes. So the idea that he wouldn't see Hal's green fucking eyes at some point, just stupid. Okay, so that's the end of that. Let's talk about the other big thing that happened in the last episode. Was Jughead got the shit kicked out of him by the ghoulies. He was just broken, and his dad is carrying him. Is he dead? Can he survive this? In this episode, they do a little death fake out where we see, you know, Jughead's hallucinating, where he sees Betty and Veronica and Archie are at his grave. He wakes up alive in the hospital. And for a guy who just really, really seemed to get the shit beat out of him, because there was like 30 or 40 guys who jumped him and everyone's getting in a hit. And I think at one point, Penelope Peabody, you know, took some skin off of him. You know, he didn't look too bad. and he's pretty coherent. You know, the fact that he's died, didn't die, okay, we all knew he was going to live. But the fact that he doesn't have some kind of like severe injuries from this that would probably last him the rest of his life, like a limp, maybe some little brain damage, or he lost an eye or something, oh, fuck off. Not, he has a few little bruises on his face. And it's like, wow, that was pointless. A reoccurring theme throughout season 2. That was pointless. That went nowhere. Fucking season 2. And so while he's there, we get he sees his dad's FP's there, and his dad FP fills him in on a few things. Like after he got beat up, all the serpents rallied together to take on the ghoulies, but they lost. Now, a lot of people left town. A few got arrested. And some are hiding because the trailer park got burned down the same night. Oh, and guess what? For some reason, Fang's Fogarty is alive. That was all a lie to get them to go fight. The fight they would lose, too. And like I said, this is all being told to us by FP. This sounds like some cool, wicked-ass shit. How come we didn't see any of that? And also, why the hell is Fang's Fogarty still alive? I mean, I like the character. And I was saddened when they said he died, but bringing him back, it's like the fucking Marvel movies. They always kill off these characters. They give them these amazing deaths. And then they bring them back to fucking life. I mean, Infinity War is going to take the cake on that. If you haven't seen it. Or Infinity Wars 1 and 2 are going to take the cake on the Marvel deaths, how pointless they are, and we have one of these in Riverdale. Now, because like I said, things didn't die. And, yeah. So anyway, at this point, FP also says, you gotta be here for Betty. And, like, Jughead's like, what are you talking about? And, I guess FP explains to him what's going on with Betty. So Jughead, she comes in, and they're comforting one another. Then Archie comes in. At one point, Jughead said something which is just mind-bogglingly stupid. And it was, well, I guess I'm not going to be running for student body council president anymore. I'm like, are you shitting me? Is that shit still going on? Their election for student body president. I thought they were done with this. Because they brought back, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes ago, for some reason, and what was either, in the middle of the school year or towards the end of this, they're going to have a student body president election. Reggie was running for it. My man Reggie, I thought he was going to get a story out of this. Nope. And then Veronica decides that she's going to run, because she wants people to see her in a different light instead of her daddy's daughter. And then Jughead wants to run because he wants to change the school. And then in the next episode, they bring it up again, and there's some conflict between Jughead and the Serpents. They don't want him to be a tool, run for, the student body council president. And Archie later has to use, some leverage with Reggie to get him to put together the Dark Circle gang. And he's like, hey, Reggie, you can help me do this favor. I'll give you all my Bulldog votes. I'll give you the jock vote. And Reggie's like, okay, I'll do it, right? And I thought that was the end of it. But no. 5, 6 episodes later, apparently it's still going on. And I think Veronica drops out. Betty drops out. And it's just, and Reggie, my man Reggie, the man who needs a fucking story, drops out. Which, okay, it makes sense because he realized, I almost got convicted of attempted murder. Nobody knows about this. I got to keep a low profile. He doesn't say this. He says, you know what, I'm not a leader. And of course, Josie, who's apparently dating him, we all saw that ship coming, but apparently it's now a ship. Once again, Reggie could have had this, we could have seen that story. Josie and Reggie, their ship sailing. But it's now a ship. I mean, we knew they were running together in the presidential election. We could have seen that and the romance that blossomed. We didn't get shit. And you know also we apparently didn't get shit from Ethel, who's Archie's only competition in this so important student body council president election. And she's running. Ethel for president? How was that not a story? And why the fuck should we care if Archie wins this thing when he didn't give a shit about it. He's all, being Hiram Lodge's goon, is, his capo, his fucking lackey, yeah. He's been Hiram Lodge's lackey and he gets conflicted about it, and that's been his story. What is this shit about him running for student body council president still? And like I said, this is probably the end of the fucking school year. Why are they having this election? It's supposed to mirror the mayor election that Fred and Hermione are running, which, it's been throughout the few episodes, but it's not really been that important. I mean, what happened to that October surprise, Hiram? We didn't see that come out. We didn't see people's reactions to that. So, oh yeah, Hermione won that. She's going to be the mayor now. Who cares? And Archie wins the student body council president election, which he was just working his ass off for. And at the end of the end of the episode, when he's won the election, he gets arrested for murder of that one kid who led the home invasion when they were out in the woods, and then Andre shot him. And people like, oh yeah, Hiram's chart is Hiram's framing him for a murder he didn't commit. Not really. Archie's probably is pretty guilty in that murder. I mean, it was Andre who pulled the gun, but Archie knew all about it, so he's complicit in that murder. And it's his own fault for bringing the fucking murder up to Hiram when he decides he's no longer going to be Hiram's bag boy. His errand boy, that's the fucking one I was trying to find. His errand boy, he goes, oh yeah, and I know that Andre killed that hillbilly. His name was Cassidy, over at Storm Lake, and of course that's the murder he gets set up for. He witnessed the murder, didn't say anything, and he kept his tongue quiet because he was working for the crime mobster whose bodyguard killed the kid. No, he's complicit. He's complicit in that murder. He had a hand in that murder. He chased the kid out. The bodyguard shot him. He's guilty. He's not being framed for a murder he didn't commit. He's actually involved in that goddamn murder. But we're supposed to care about Archie. I don't. Archie's a moron. He can go to prison and work on his music again. And if that's fucking Archie's storyline for season 3, I'm going to be up for it. Archie in prison. Maybe he escapes. I don't care. I just don't want Archie in Riverdale. Because I know it's not even going to be a thing in season 3. They'll open it up, the first episodes, season 3, Archie will probably already be out of jail. The murder happened not during the summertime, but over a month, and they're still in school at the end of the school year, and he gets back to being student body council president because that was so goddamn important. Yeah, and some shit with Veronica. Her father's taken over the South Side. All he had left was the white worm, the serpent headquarters. She buys it, trades him for Pops. So now they have a safe zone in the north end. And Jughead becomes leader of the Serpents, which wasn't he already basically the leader of the goddamn Serpents? And why are they calling it Serpent King? This is the first time we've heard that the leader of the Serpents is called the Serpent King. Because FB's stepping down to go live with his family in Tucson. Jughead's mother and sister, who we haven't seen yet. When will we ever see? I don't know. But Jughead's going to take over the Serpents, but it feels like he's always been the leader of the Serpents. At least the younger ones. Maybe not so much the older ones who they never really address, except for Doll Boy, who's dead. But yeah, he's the leader of the... He's always been the leader of the young Serpents. Now he's, the leader of all the Serpents. But overall, that was the episode. But the season is what's really been just disappointing. Season 2, because you have just so many storylines that they start up, they look interesting, and they go nowhere. Like I said, with that student body council president, they brought up in one episode, looks like they're starting something. Second episode, they did another episode, they do another little something, completely disappears, and then they bring it up out of nowhere, when it doesn't make any goddamn sense anymore to bring it up. I just figured Reggie had won that election. One of the worst was the red circle nonsense. So we see in one episode, Archie, he's getting the idea to start a vigilante gang. And he's recruiting the Bulldogs. And by the end of the episode, they do this sort of Al-Qaeda-like video with Archie going, we're gonna get you, Black Hood. Everyone's wearing a hood except for him. And a couple of them don't have their shirts on for some reason. It was pretty funny. And then in the next episode, the principal shuts that shit down. And, everyone, when Archie goes, I don't know, guys, we'll get in trouble if we keep it going, everyone quits. That's the end of the vigilante red circle nonsense. They kind of bring it back up a little more in that same episode, but by the end of the episode, even Archie doesn't give a shit about it. It's like, why the fuck did he start a vigilante gang if that story was going to go nowhere? Which it didn't. Later, they bring back the Dark Circle, where it's, like I said, Archie's Hiram's errand boy. So he gets the Dark Circle, which is just everyone in the Red Circle, but now they're mob enforcers, chase out the rival mobsters. And then in the next episode, when Hiram wants to use them to create some vandalism, Archie's like, I don't know, I think we need to quit. And then basically that ends up being the end of the Dark Circle. I'm trying to think of what other storylines that they started and they went nowhere. There's just so many. It's like the one with Cheryl being in love with Josie. We see how obsessed she is. And in one episode where she's, giving her a pig's heart, writing all these threatening letters. And then it disappears and they do bring it back to show that Cheryl's kind of had an obsession with Josie, and it creates a rift between her and Josie, but it really just felt like that episode, they realized, oh shit, we forgot all about this crap, let's just bring it back. And that's just been the season. Just storylines that went nowhere, and way too much focus on the core four, when they had interesting side characters. My man Reggie could have gotten a goddamn story. All this time they wasted on stupid ones like, did anyone really care that Archie was becoming Hiram's errand boy? They was getting involved in this ridiculous mob nonsense. I didn't. I was like last season. What about my music? Oh my God, give Reggie a goddamn story. Give Ethel a fucking story. Oh, give Kevin a story. We all like Kevin. I do now. Yeah, well, I've actually always liked kind of like Kevin, except the first introduction was terrible. Anyway, like I said, interesting thing that did happen with him is he finds Moose in the bathroom. Moose is crying because he's sad about Midge, which I thought was pretty interesting. That it's like Moose, I guess he's feeling kind of some guilt about Midge because Midge, Moose is the closet homosexual character. And he was dating Midge. Midge ends up dead, and he's sad about that. I don't think it was because he was in love with Midge. I think there was a lot of guilt involved in that he was lying to this poor girl, and then she ends up dead. And this is, I think, where we're going to see Moose decides, what? I'm not going to live the lie anymore. I'm not going to lie to people like Midge. I'm just going to be who I am. But no, it's him and Kevin hooking up, and it's like, oh god damn. Why don't you just fuck on her grave while you're at it, guys? And I don't know if I really want to have Moose and Kevin getting together or Cheryl and Tony, because these shows, they just love to bury their gays, and given the writing, the way that they handled season 2, I would not be surprised if next season they said, you know what, we're getting nowhere with Moose and Kevin or Cheryl and Tony. Let's get the shovel, boys. And that's my biggest fear, just that Riverdale will pull 100, or what's the new Star Trek show where they'll bury their gays in just terrible fashion. Speaking of gays that they bury, what Joaquin? They brought him back in I think 2 episodes ago when they needed some people to help move Fang's power. He's like, hey, Joaquin's back. Kevin's serpent lover for season 1, he disappeared in the last episode, which I didn't notice. And in this episode, what the hell happened to Joaquin? Somebody better look and see if there's any fresh patches of dirt, because I think they buried him. Probably next to Tall Boy. Is Tall Boy dead? I don't know. We didn't see him die. And who the hell killed Papa Pulte? I know Archie accuses Hiram of having Andre kill the guy, but I don't think that was the result. So yeah, that's what I thought of this tonight's episode of season 2. Just disappointment left and right, and I think I'm done doing Riverdale reviews. I don't think I'll stop watching the show, but I'm not going to waste my time just blathering on for 21 minutes about a show, about what happened in the show. It just does nothing but infuriate me. Still do the 100 reviews because that is my favorite show. And one of the things that is so good about it is how simple the 100 can keep things.